What is up? What is up, everyone? Jumping on for a few minutes tonight. It has been quite a while since I did a live, and yeah, I have some cool things to talk about tonight. The world's in quite an interesting state of affairs. Magical has some incredible updates we're bringing to the table. For those of you that have been following us the past few years, you know, things have been flying. We got this big move coming up to Costa Rica. We have some cool healing retreats coming up. But I want to talk about healing suppressed trauma. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about why, at least in my belief, the world is. Oh, what's up, Francisco? It's good to see you, man. Hey, what's up, Samantha? Oh, all my people coming on here. It's so great to see you all. Why I feel the world's in such a crazy place right now, but it's all in divine orchestration, so it's okay. Don't fall into fear. And some really powerful things we can do, you know. So much of this external world is projected from what's going on within us, but there is a collective aspect of it too. So we're going to have some good conversations tonight. I'm so excited to be back on here. I used to jump on and do lives with y'all all the time before the Belize retreat. Samantha, it's so good to see you. Francisco, hope you're doing well, brother. Megan and I still love jumping on your lives every now and then. I love all the goodness you still put out there into the world, my man. I'm going to pull up I can't see all, I'm still getting used to this StreamYard app. So it's actually displaying on the Magical Healing the World group, which if you're catching this on LinkedIn, if you're catching this anywhere else, we have a free Facebook group, which a lot of great content on there. But I'm pulling up so I can read the comments. Anyone that has comments, questions, anything at all, I'll do my best to get to them. I just want to be able to see them. Awesome. So I want to talk about a few things. You know, if you're reading my write-up, people are truly dealing, in my experience, it's my belief that there is more suppressed trauma that people are dealing with right now than ever before in human history. Ever before, ever. And there's a multitude of reasons, right? And I want to foundationally say anything I speak about, it is so important that I send the message across that none of this is in fear. There is no fear. That vibration does not exist in my being. And I urge everyone that any messages that I come across and send across, nothing is in fear, because everything's in divine order. Everything's in divine orchestration, and everything really is working out for our highest good. As chaotic as it is out there, it's a massive transformation we're all going through. But you're going through it right now. You listening, whether you're aware of it or not, and most of, I know our community, the self-awareness is pretty beautiful. You're going through a massive transformation. So be easy with yourself. Love yourself through this process. Be gentle with yourself through this process. You know, I'm going to get back to the suppressed trauma in a second, but one thing I want to note right now, you know, in Buddhist Tantra, one of the sayings is the more chaotic the world is, the more opportunity for spiritual growth. And it's true. So right now, what I'm observing, what's happening, anything you have that is unresolved, whether it's childhood trauma, whether it's abandonment issues, whatever it is, it's going to start to come to surface. Triggers are going to happen. Y'all, it's happening to me. It happens to all of us. And it's a beautiful thing. It's not something to be ashamed of. Like, it's all for our growth. It's all for us ascending and transitioning into the best, most real version of ourselves, which is just pure unconditional love. So when stuff is coming up during this time, don't judge it. It's okay. It's all for your growth. Angie, what's up? Awakening from the depths of us all. Absolutely. Angie, I love to see you on here. For those that listen to the Magical Healing the World podcast, the last one we released was with that amazing woman right there, Angie. Wow, what an experience she had at our Belize retreat. Just so transformative, and it's because of how much she put into it and all the work she did. So awesome stuff. It's great to see you, Angie. So people are dealing with massive amounts of suppressed trauma, and it can be from a multitude of things. You know, obviously one of the big ones out there that we've worked with people on are different levels of childhood abuse, sexual, physical, emotional abuse as a child. when someone goes through a difficult traumatic situation, whether it's a child or whether it's an adult, if the mind doesn't know how to handle it, it disassociates and from that experience, and that experience energetically stays in the body because they never really process that, right? So when you have that trauma, it gets suppressed, and over time, it shows itself in anxiety, it shows itself in depression, it shows itself in escaping through addiction. And yes, as my lovely wife, who I learned so much of this from, just yelled and pointed out, it will manifest as chronic illness, like literally dis-ease in the body. Those of you that know Megan's story that has foundationally really built Magical, her incredible story that is still going on and still just so amazing, is she had like 5 or 6 autoimmune diagnoses, all from suppressed trauma. That shit's gone. Those autoimmune things have been healed completely because of plant medicine, because of diet, because of fruits, because of breath work, because of her taking the self-responsibility to reprogram her mind. It's called that physical dis-ease of the autoimmune stuff was suppressed trauma. So when you have suppressed trauma as a child or even as an adult, look, y'all, that shit's not going to go away. You got to go back and heal that. You got to face that, or it's going to stay. It's going to continue to manifest in your life. So people are dealing with suppressed trauma from childhood. And don't get me started on the indoctrination of the systems. I ain't going to go too deep on that right now because the powers to be tend to censor and take things off. So I ain't going too much down that rabbit hole. And those of you that follow me know I love to go down the rabbit hole on the bullshit that is all the systems that are in place. But the point is, even as from the time you're a child, there's conditioning and programming out there that condition children to give a shit what other people think, to condition children to not question authority, that condition people to, Angie's laughing at that. You know I like to go down that rabbit hole. It's not called a conspiracy theorist anymore, y'all. It's called spoiler alerts. That's what it's called. They're not conspiracy theories. They're spoiler alerts. All right, I'll leave it alone. I'll let it go. All right, I'm going to let it go. All right, back to the point. But the conditioning is out there, right? So we're all, and it's, again, I want to stay away from judgment on this too, because it's easy to fall into judgment of these systems. But as you continue to evolve and ascend and grow, I urge everyone to not judge them because it's all part of the plan. Like, it's all part of it. We have to awaken to that to grow and ascend into our highest self, right? So don't judge it, just become aware of it and then take responsibility for reprogramming your mind, for overcoming that conditioning, right? So we have the suppressed trauma that's happening. We have trauma that's happening in adult life. We have conditioning and programming. We have the media that all they do is feed fear. And what happens when you're in a fear, lower vibrational state? Not only do you attract those things, but you're going to feel lower. You're more susceptible to that stuff. So there is so much conditioning, so much programming out there. People need healing more than they ever have. Now, I'm not saying all this to get all doom and gloom by any means at all. There is a beautiful ending to this story. And there is a lot of methods out there that can truly heal on deep levels. That's what Magical does. We have been given this divine mission to be a catalyst to heal the world. And I need to take a second and say how grateful Megan and I are for the team of healers that we have attracted. You know, Megan and I can do a lot, but it's our healers, it's our team, it's our musicians, it's our yoga instructors, it's all these people that have been attracted to us that are just such incredible souls that are aligned with this mission, you know? So we do have that mission to heal the world. We utilize plant medicines like ayahuasca, like psilocybin. We do utilize breath work. We utilize all these modalities because we have seen it literally work miracles in people's lives, actual miracles in people's lives. These medicines have been so profound. And I bring this up because there's so much stigma around them, so much stigma, right? Like, you know, one of the things that tore my family completely apart, just being totally transparent, psilocybin mushrooms, as crazy as that is. Like, the whole side of my family, and I send them nothing but love and light, and I've grown a lot from it because of that disconnect. I've had to find a deeper love within myself. So I appreciate the lessons involved, but because of the stigma of psychedelics and plant medicines, and the system wants you staying as far away from those as possible. As far from possible, because it's not because they're afraid you're going to do something to hurt someone. It's because those medicines give you a potential awareness that everything you've been taught by every system is a lie, is a method of control and conditioning to keep you searching externally for a power outside of yourself, giving your power to things outside of yourself, keep you controlled, keep you in fear, and keep feeding the big pharma machine. Angie said, even our eating 3 times a day is not good for us. Smaller throughout the day. Yeah, absolutely. We found that. It's so true. It's so crazy. So where was I going with that? Yes, the stigmas of all the medicines. The medicines we work with, they're all stigmatized. And again, I say this with no judgment, but it's going to tear some people apart. It happened to both Megan and my family. Like, they're all, again, sending them nothing but love, but so deeply conditioned in the system, so going by one rule of thumb that, like, they've been spoon-fed this information from. It can't be anything outside of that. Anything that threatens, it's like The Matrix. We just watched them. I'm a huge Matrix fan. But it's true. Anything that threatens the system, it sets off a red flag, and people have cognitive dissonance. It's happening a lot right now. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole too much of the, I'm not going to drop that word, because that's like the number one word that all the systems are looking for to censor you. But there's one group that heavily believes in holistic healing, the power within you, how truly powerful your mind is. And one group that is just having heavier and heavier cognitive dissonance to what the hell is really going on. No judgment on either side. It's okay. Everyone's on their own path. But it's really foundationally breaking down and understanding that the trauma that's out there, the trauma that people are dealing with, and all of the conditioning and programs that have to be rewired and reprogrammed. The awakening process, and it's not always pretty, it's not, but it's beautiful because it's getting you to the best, most fulfilled, loving version of yourself. That's kind of a vow that I've made on my mission personally. Is I'm still working on it. I still got work to do. I'm still learning stuff. I'm still, my twin flame is the most amazing teacher in regards to being able to know where and how healing needs to happen, right? For those of you that have twin flames out there, by the way, it's a very amazing dynamic because you're mirroring you. So you're both so connected that even any of you in relationships, or if you live with, really right now, there's such an ascension going on. The people you spend time around, the closer you are to them, there's a great chance, and this is just happening with me. I mean, I can only speak from my experience, that triggers are coming up because everyone's ascending so much right now because of this time in humanity, and so many people are waking up. In fact, the system is just going to keep making it more and more ridiculous that these measures get put in place as people wake up more and more that it's all bullshit. That anything in you that still needs healing to get to that state of unconditional love and non-judgment for all people, that shit's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up, and you're going to feel those triggers. But you know what? That's okay. I made a post yesterday. Your greatest triggers are your greatest teachers. And it's not a fun pill to swallow. And I'm right there with you. I'm doing my best to hold my ego back whenever I get triggers and sit through it and feel those feelings and then become the observer. All of you going through this ascension right now in this time of humanity, especially those that have woken up to what's going on. And again, I hold no judgment to those that haven't woken up, but those that are still kind of plugged into the system, that are still believing everything in the system, it's only a matter of time. In my belief, it really is. But those of you that have woken up and you're on this path, anything that is unresolved is going to come up. You're going to get triggered. You're going to have shit come up, and it's all for your growth. It's all for your ascension. It's all for you continuing to get on that path of unconditional love and non-judgment for all beings. Because at our core, we're all love. We are all love at our core. Before the conditioning, before they tried to split us up in races and bullshit religions and all of that, like, we're all love. We're all connected, right? And we're walking our way back to that. So magical, a big thing I'm going to talk a bit about our retreat. We had 40 people come to our Belize retreat and 40 transformations. And this retreat we have in Nicaragua is going to absolutely change the lives of every soul that comes there. Period. It will. And I'm not saying that because it's all about me or even Megan. It's the divine formula that we've been blessed with. This formula we've created with specific plant medicines in specific times in a specific order that have been so profound for people. You know, you can't simplify healing. However, in our experience, there's two big areas, right? One area is when you go through these traumatic events, when you suppress them, you're holding the energy from your abuse from decades ago. You're holding the energy from the resentment you have for your family. You're holding the energy for the resentment that you have for even your abuser. I mean, I know it's tough to swallow and it's tough to talk about those things, but anything in your heart that you're holding on to that isn't love and non-judgment, it's staying there. And one part of healing is releasing that energy. Release that energy. That's where ayahuasca does so many things. I couldn't make a 10-hour video on the divinity that is ayahuasca, all the amazing things. It is the most profound life experience I've ever encountered in my entire life, over and over again. Every ceremony is the most profound thing. So I can't put it into words, but one piece of it is releasing the energy. You heard it, purging. It's beautiful. You release the energy of these traumatic events. You release the energy of your resentment for your family or your friends or anyone that has done you wrong. You release that energy. That's one huge part of it. We're carrying around energy of decades of trauma and abuse and resentment, and jealousy. Like, any of these feelings are going to sit with you and impact your vibration and impact your path. This is why ayahuasca, one of the many things it does, it's so beautiful in releasing the energy, letting that go. So that's one part. Thank you, Melvin. So I look like Tom Cruise. Thank you. I've never gotten that before, but I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Melvin. The second part, after you've released all this energy and you're energetically and spiritually clean, not that anyone's dirty, but in a sense of you've released these heavy, dense energies you've been holding on to for decades, the second part is reprogramming that subconscious mind. Because listen, you are a powerful co-creator. You are. What you think and feel and your core beliefs are going to drastically impact your experience, right? So you have to have that subconscious mind reprogrammed. You can release all the energy you want, but if you still have limited beliefs and you still think the world hates you and you still think you're like the universe is going to hurt you, if you still think that people are out to, if you still think those things, that's still going to manifest in your reality. You're still going to experience that. That's how powerful you are. So after you release the energy, which we have 3 badass ayahuasca ceremonies planned for this Nicaragua retreat. And man, I can't speak enough about these shamans. I've had a bunch of different ayahuasca ceremonies. There is nothing like what Mary and Danilo have done for me. My wife, I just can't speak enough about them. Super profound. So after the ayahuasca ceremonies, the other half of that is reprogramming the subconscious mind. Those of you that have followed Magical know the Psilocybin healing ceremonies that Megan facilitates are next level. There's nothing like them. Nothing like them at all. And every plant medicine ceremony is great for whatever it is. However, and those of you that have experienced Megan's ceremony know there is something so special about this. It is a deep level of reprogramming the subconscious mind. She goes in and is able to help you release the limited beliefs, release your fears, release your unworthiness, and bring in deep levels of self-love. Bring in knowing that you're worthy of abundance. One second, y'all. I'm making sure I'm not getting messages on here from people. Let's see here. Okay, cool. Just making sure. So that second part of reprogramming the subconscious mind is key. So the ayahuasca helps you get rid of all that energy. And the second thing is reprogramming that subconscious mind. When you've spiritually cleansed and let go of all that, and you reprogram your subconscious mind, and you know how worthy you are, you know how powerful you are, you know you're worthy of extreme abundance financially, romantically, personally, you know all that, that's what you're going to attract into your vibration. That's deep levels of healing. And we have a team that is incredible for integration. There is a powerhouse woman that I can't speak enough about, Elena Mclean. Holy crap. For those of you that don't know who she is, go to the Magical podcast, Healing the World podcast. Listen, it was the second to last podcast. It's called Elena Mclean, Fire, Fire, Fire. Listen to her podcast. She is incredible. The integration techniques that she has are next level. Not only is she at the retreat doing workshops that give you these tools to integrate, but she does integration stuff for you after the retreat. So you'll have people helping you through this integration process. So it's a full formula of healing. Angie said, never have I felt so safe, loved, and inspired to be the best me. We love you so much, Angie. Angie came, like I said before, Angie came to our Belize retreat, and wow, the transformation she had. And we're so grateful to be connected to you, Angie. Thank you so much for those kind words. But it's a formula. It's a powerful formula. And this Nicaragua healing retreat, we are about 70% booked up. We have 2 shared spaces left, and we have 4 private rooms and 2 shared spaces left. And that's it. Then we're booked up. We love you too. Thank you, Angie. So we would love to have you all there with us. One thing I will say too, just make sure you always do your homework with these plant medicines and the people that you're going to be having these experiences with, right? And again, there's no fear, but feel it out. We're all intuitive, powerful beings. You have an intuition, right? Get more out of the head and more into the heart. Get into that heart. You feel, make decisions and feeling that, right? That's kind of one of the big transitions we're going through too, is how powerful our intuition is. But you know what helps intuition come out? Clean eating, doing your healing work. You know, Megan's gifts started flourishing after her first ayahuasca ceremony. It was crazy. She started doing these incredibly accurate angel readings for people. And then she started working with the psilocybin spirit to help people heal on deep levels. And for me, as I've gone down this route and committed my life to walking a path of being an example of unconditional love and non-judgment, that's my path. You know, that's my path of service. That is a path that I've chosen to dedicate my life to, is do my best to continue to heal myself to where I can be the embodiment of unconditional love and non-judgment. As I've gone down that, and these medicines have been so profound for me, have been game-changing. I can't put into words how grateful I am for ayahuasca, for psilocybin, for LSD was actually big for me early on with my alcohol stuff years ago. These medicines, while they're stigmatized, if they're utilized in the right set and setting, with the right intention, in a sacred manner, with a team that are all heart first, that have a loving intention of truly just wanting to serve and heal, miracles happen. Miracles can happen. But it's so important to know who you're going into these things with. Everything is neutral. What happened and is happening, neutral, usual, ordinary. If you question what happened, you are arguing with creation. Accepting and allowing is unconditional love. I love that. I wish I could see who said that. It's not showing me. And that's frustrating because that is a beautiful comment. It's not showing me who said that. I want to know because that is such a great comment. I'm going to expand on that because I absolutely love what you just said. Oh, it's not showing me. Maybe it's in the Facebook group. Let me see here. Yeah, here it is. You are right. Demi Fox. You are so right. And here's the thing. Something that has come to me in multiple of especially my last ayahuasca ceremony that I sat with and I helped the shaman that I'm training with, that's kind of taken me under his wing. I'm so grateful for it, as he's kind of starting to show me the ropes. I'm training with him. I'm going to the jungle next year to learn more about it. But the last ceremony, the message was, everything is always perfect. And I know that sounds crazy, but you got to follow me. Everything is always perfect. Everything is in divine ordinance. Everything's in divine creation. Like, it sounds crazy, but all the people that are doing the conditioning and the programming and all that horrible stuff, it's the duality of life. If we weren't conditioned and programmed into a system, we wouldn't have the experience of waking up, of knowing, to one of the very first ayahuasca ceremony I ever sat with, I was angry. And I asked why my wife had to have so much sickness. I said, why does she have to suffer so much? I was angry. And I saw Mother Ayahuasca, and I didn't think I was going to, but I kind of lashed out because that was my truth years ago. I was upset. And she told me, without understanding great sickness, you will never truly have gratitude for great health. Without knowing anger and sadness, you won't have gratitude and truly know peace and happiness. It's the duality of life. Everything is perfect. Everyone listening to this, you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. You're not behind, you're not ahead. It's all written. You're right where you need to be. Now, in my belief, there's a path that will lead you to your highest good, and it is you are the co-creator. You can choose to make the harder decisions. You can choose to get up and do your morning routine. You can choose to overcome the fear and experience these medicines if they call to you. If they call to you, you have to overcome that fear, right? You can choose that, and that will be for your highest good. If you don't, that's your choice too. And in my experience, everyone has a path that they're all leading to. It's just a matter of when you get there, right? So it's all in divine orchestration. So don't worry too much about the future. Don't think too much about the past. Be so present and find that gratitude at each moment. You know what's a great practice? A fucking great practice? You can actually find love and peace in your heart in any moment of any day. Anything with your breath. Because right now, in this moment, if you're fully present, everything's perfect. You're breathing, you're alive, you have clothes on or off, whatever you're doing. You're alive, you're breathing. In this moment, everything is as it should be. What happens is we get caught up being depressed or upset about past decisions that were necessary for our growth, or because of all the fear-based indoctrination, we worry about the future. Finding presence in each moment with your breath can bring you peace no matter what. Being centered no matter what. And that has been personally a powerful path that God has put me on in recent months. God has, in different ways, talk to me about the necessity of me on my path finding center no matter the chaos, no matter what's happening externally, center and peace. I made a post the other day. It's a beautiful quote. Certainly it's not my quote, but it's a beautiful quote that I remind myself of. The ego says, when everything falls into place, I will be at peace. Spirit says, when I am at peace, everything will fall into place. Think about that. When I am at peace, everything will fall into place. Not when everything falls into place, I'll be at peace. Think about that. It's powerful. And those of you that may be in twin flame relationships, that's a hell of a challenge, right? It's beautiful, though. It's beautiful because in my experience with my twin, with Megan, she has knowingly sometimes and unknowingly most of the time has sharpened me up and has been such a catalyst for my growth, for my soul and my embodiment of who I am and why I'm here. So those of you that are in a relationship right now or in a partnership or whatever, any relationship you have, any triggers that come up, it's for your good. It's to help you. So have gentleness, love, and grace with yourself through this. Do not judge yourself through this. Abbas Omo says that he has a reading for you. I bet he's a Nigerian prince that's going to send us $3 million. Thanks, Abbas. Gotta love the spammers. Find your center and be gentle with yourself. Love yourself through this. Love yourself through this process. We are going through a powerful ascension. Love yourself through this process. Give yourself grace. The awareness will be there. For those listening, the awareness will be there. The self-responsibility is the necessity. The self-responsibility without judgment of self. Because these programs you're trying to rewrite in your head from trauma, these things you're trying to heal, they're not your fault. They're not your fault. It wasn't your fault what happened to you as a child. It wasn't your fault you had a judgmental family. It wasn't your fault the freaking school system does what they do. It wasn't your fault. But it's your responsibility to heal it. It's your responsibility now. And from that comes the most beautiful growth you can experience. And from that aligns you with your path and your purpose. And from that comes your most abundant, beautiful life. So have love and be gentle with yourself through this process. There's a reason you chose to come here during this time. It's not by accident. You're not listening to these words by accident. It's all written. It's all divine. And you are doing a great job. Know that. The Nicaragua retreat, that's what I'm going to end on. Again, we have 6 spots left. We got 2 shared space spots, and we have 4 private room spots. This will 100% transform your life. Because if you're called to it, that means you're ready to do the work. It ain't a magic pill. It ain't a magic pill. But the amount of divine healing that takes place, I can't put into words. And it will show you the path to your highest life. That's what these medicines do. They show you the path. They give you the message. You got to do the work. Now, I will say, in our experience, there has been some physically beautiful healing that my wife has experienced. From like gut issues that have just went away to the autoimmune stuff. That freaking ayahuasca took that shit away. I can't explain that. But from the reprogramming aspect, from the mindset aspect, from what you choose to create in your life, that's on you. But we'll show you the way. I have love for every one of you. Every single one of you. I'm here for you. Magical's here for you. Never hesitate to reach out. You're doing fantastic. Come with us to Nicaragua. That'll be the most profound experience of your life. I promise you that. Much love. Have a great night and happy healing to all.